There is a very interesting statement by Yogananda. He said, "In a little piece of thought rests the cosmic lot. Rob that thought away, and the universe goes away." That it is so easy for us to, as it says in the Gita, that some souls that get thrown out during the day of Brahma may still be wandering in delusion at the end of that day of Brahma, which, as we understand, may be billions and billions of years. That even in that much time we may still be wandering in delusion. And it's all because of this little thought that we have. That one time a disciple asked Yogananda, "Sir, if I say I am free, I wouldn't be free, right?" And then Yogananda said, "Oh yes, you would be free. But you have answered your own question by saying, I wouldn't be." You see, you are already affirming that you are not, even though you are trying to affirm, because you are not doing it from that consciousness of freedom. But that to tell you that this constant affirmation that we are having, that I am not free, that I am bound, that I am separate from God, from one another, that is really, that little thought is what's keeping us enclosed in Maya. That little thought is what makes us incarnate again and again and again. And through these eons, we only learn to get rid of that thought, to get rid of that separation, that feeling of separation. One of my favorite quotes of Yogananda is, "The minutes are more important than the years." Because here we are talking about numbers that I don't even know how to write. So many numbers. But Yogananda said, don't worry. Take care of the minutes. Take care of what's going on right now. And that is the way I like to see this subject usually. Although I'm always amazed by the complexity of all of this, by how, in a way, foolish we are to be wandering for eons. But we can change all of that right now. That we have lived for so long and still we remember nothing of it. The little bit we remember is our attachments, through our tendencies, through our samskars. That's the only thing we actually remember from our past lives. Of course, some people do remember their past lives, but probably not the billions of past lives. And to this end, I wanted to say a couple stories that happened to me. The first one was actually today. As you see, I got a haircut, a more or less decent haircut. I'm not too excited about it. But as I was walking to this place right below here, I've been having a few rough days, because in some ways my body is not going the way, it's not functioning the way I wanted to function, let's put it that way. And you know how these things sometimes intrude in your meditation, and then you are not able, already meditation can be hard. If there is something else there also, it's even harder, you could say. And so, I was a little bit disillusioned. And as I was walking, I was thinking about this, until at some point, I really realized I could feel something in my heart going down. I said, oh my God, what's going on? And the moment I changed that, I said, but it doesn't matter. I said I can't remember what I said exactly, but in the sense, Master will always be with me, even if I'm not able to meditate 100% right now. And instantly, that feeling of the heart changed. And my day, of course, changed completely according to that. That's why I was able to feel very content and very happy, just by catching myself at that one moment, not letting the energy go down, but encourage it to go up. Put a little bit of conscious will. And the other story happened to me some years ago, that I was in a place that I really didn't want to be in, and how many times that happens to all of us. And I was supposed to be there for a few days. And at the very beginning, I was like, why do I have to do this? I don't like this, blah, blah, blah. And on again, my mind was going. And then again, same thing. Wait a second, what am I doing? I'm going against everything that I believe on. And in that moment, I say, okay, let's just make up an affirmation. And I started affirming something like, this is coming to me from Master for my spiritual evolution, or something like that, for my greatest happiness, or something on those lines. And I repeat that just for a minute. Again, energy completely changed. That I was able to see everything in that trip as an opportunity for growth. That by changing myself in the moment, everything turned out for the best, and I was able to, overcome certain difficulties. And you see that in life, that is really the challenge. Moment by moment, what are we thinking? Where is our energy going? Where is your energy going right now, for example? Is it listening? Is it in God? What is the first thing when you wake up? What is the first thing that you think? Do you think about your worries? You think about what's coming up? Or your first thought is God? Those things are really the things that matter. And if we take care of all those little things, as Ananda said, the years will take care of themselves. Because every little moment that we live in joy, it has much more power than hours of meditation, struggling and wandering. Living in joy is what really matters. And yes, we develop it through our meditation. In fact, meditation is an act of being in the moment. As there was a funny cartoon that I saw once that I said to some of you before, that it was 3 different booths. There was, the first one, it was past life regression. It was sort of a spiritual fair, and like lots of people were in queue there to get their past life regression. Another booth, it said like, fortune telling, know about your future. And again, so many people were there. And then in the center was meditation, living the present. Nobody was there. That it is so easy for us just to get caught up in all those things that we don't realize that what we do now is really what matters. Then Krishna says, single-hearted devotion, O Arjuna, is what lifts one to that supreme unmanifested state. Only the ever-conscious, omnipresent spirit is the ultimate repository of all things and all beings. That and Swamiji makes the point that many people think, I'll just wait till the day of Brahma is gone and I'll be free in that unmanifested state. But he said, there is the unmanifested, that yes, it comes in that when all creation withdraws, but it's also the absolute unmanifested, that you cannot just go like that by just waiting for it, that you actually had to put conscious acts of will. And here Krishna is saying, as we say many times, and as Krishna says many times, single-hearted devotion. That so many times we hear Swami Kriyananda, Master or Acharya say, develop devotion. Devotion is the most important thing. And we tend to think that, a little bit of feeling on the heart, little bit of love here or there, devotion. But no, devotion is really an actual powerful energy that awakens in the heart. And when that energy, when it's rising up, that is true devotion. That flow of energy that really cleanses you from the inside. And when that flow of energy is there, it doesn't matter if the body doesn't cooperate, it doesn't matter what's going on, you will be able to feel the presence of God within you. Swami used to say that the most important thing that we can do is develop desire for God, that desire to know God, to know joy, whatever you want to call it. And one time, I just want to say a little story here again. I was in Ananda village in 2012, and I got caught up randomly in some of these sharing nature with children games that they were doing. And it was a very interesting game. It was like this. You were in pairs of 2, and there was somebody who was standing at the top of a small hill. So basically, one of the 2 was blindfolded, and you had to first look at the person there and say, okay, there it is. Then you blindfolded yourself and you had to walk in a straight line to that person. It's simple enough. So the second person is there to make sure you don't fall or whatever it may be. And I was the one who was being blindfolded, and I was going and walking and walking and walking. And at some point my companion said, maybe you should stop. I said, no, I'll keep going. Walking. I said, then you should really stop. You have gone completely off. And it seemed that I had started maybe a quarter of the way, I was straight, and then I took one wrong step. It was 90-degree turn, and then I got, and the guy was like all the way over there. Had completely lost track. And so it happens to us in this life, that yes, we want God, but there's so many countless little desires that takes us away of our path. That sometimes somebody says, the guru may nudge you, isn't it enough? No. I want to keep going. And then one incarnation may go like that. And again, we had to start again and develop again that desire for God, which may not even come. So that is why, through our meditation, through everything we do, our goal is to develop that desire. Because once that becomes our greatest desire, we'll be able to go in a straight line. Or even when we go a little bit astray, the Guru will say, maybe you should stop. And I say, yes, Master, I'll stop. And go again. I wanted to read from this book, Love Perfected Life Divine, of Swamiji. To the soul that will not study its immortal nature, life itself becomes a narrow prison. All God's creation waits to supply that soul with what it needs, yet, in the midst of plenty, it starves. Fear, suspicion, distrust, anger, envy, and closeness to others' pleas paralyze its being and destroy its ability to act. Love, courage, patience, sweetness, generosity, and sympathy are actual life forces that will sustain it and the body it inhabits. And I repeat that. Love, courage, patience, sweetness, generosity, and sympathy are actual life forces that will sustain it, meaning the soul, and the body it inhabits. All the influence of society work against it. All the influence of nature, of the natural world, work with it. There is nothing in pure nature that will not obey the soul's behest. This should be sufficient for its happy existence. Sorrow and despair result from the misuse of will. On earth or in heaven, there is no other cause for suffering. That misuse of our will is what really gets us in trouble. So now, more and more, let us use our will in that positive manner, in attunement with that highest goal that we have, that moment by moment we choose the highest. We use our will to choose God. We use will to choose generosity, to choose sweetness, to choose joy. And we'll see that life becomes sweet, and also we will really be taking big steps towards that final liberation.